In 2019, the Lima Symphony Orchestra applied for and was awarded an Artworks grant by the National Endowment for the Arts to bring music into area schools, reaching students through music and teaching them how to use music as a tool for self-expression, especially students that may be at risk due to poverty, mental health struggles, or behavioral issues.
The National Endowment for the Arts is a federal agency whose purpose is to fund and promote art and creativity for all Americans. These grants are so important for smaller budget orchestras like the Lima Symphony. They help us reach all members of our community and strengthen our community through these types of projects.
Shortly after the orchestra was awarded this grant, 2020 happened, and COVID happened, and lockdowns happened. It was no longer possible to bring the musicians into schools to play for students, and suddenly everyone was in a state of crisis. The impact of quarantine measures and remote learning on many students was difficult and devastating, often leading to feelings of isolation, anxiety, and depression.
This project came at a really interesting time for our organization because of COVID. Once COVID happened, we really had to throw out the playbook on everything that we had planned and rethink how we were going to reach audiences, how we were going to get the musicians physically together to perform, and how we were going to continue our educational programs, many of which happened live. That is when we enlisted the help of Mary Amato. Mary is an award-winning children's book author and singer-songwriter based out of Maryland, and she agreed to help us in leading 4 classes from the Lima City Schools in songwriting sessions. So we did what everybody else did during the pandemic, and we got on Zoom.
The Lima Symphony Orchestra teamed up 4 classes from the Lima City School District for this project. Almost 70 students were able to participate in Project Noteworthy, Mrs. Miller's 4th grade class from Heritage Elementary, Ms. Rohrbaugh's 4th grade class from Independence Elementary, Mr. McBenn's 5th grade class from North Middle School, and Mrs. Place's 4th grade class from Freedom Elementary.
I'm here with the Lima Symphony Orchestra. So excited because we're going to do a project. There's Miss Keller from the orchestra. We are going to do a project where we're going to write a song together, and we're actually going to do it. We're going to start it and finish it in just 4 days. What's important is to experience the process of writing a song so that if you end up really liking it, it's something that you do on your own. So whatever we do together, you can always take home and do on your own.
The project was about more than just students writing a song. It became a way for students to discover a way to let their emotions out and express their feelings that they might not have words for.
It was really cool to work with Mary. Mary is a beautiful person, like inside and out, and she has so many ideas, and she's very creative, and it's a lot of fun watching the kids actually get invested into composing and learning the process and being inspired. And they liked how Miss Mary would not say no to anyone's ideas, and everybody's ideas were valid, and they really liked feeling like they were a part of creating this song.
Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I call the inner voice in my head. The inner voice in my head is not very nice sometimes, especially when I'm trying to do something creative. So I decided to do something about it. And I decided to create a character for that voice. I call this monster the voice in my head, and I made it out of paper, and I keep this monster on my desk because the monster is in my mind all the time. I can, though, tell this monster to be quiet. So I will literally, when I'm about to start a creative project, I will literally look at this monster and say, be quiet, go jump in the lake. I am going to write a song right now. I do not want to hear from you. Say yes to your ideas. So if an idea pops into your head, don't let that inner voice say, that's a bad idea. Don't raise your hand. Mary Amato doesn't want to hear that. Be quiet, inner voice, and say yes to your idea.
The process was really amazing, and I think encouraging for the students. especially after a whole year of uncertainty and distance learning and hybrid learning. To have an opportunity to really come up with something creative with peers and collaborate and have those ideas heard and acknowledged was really powerful. And the songs created by the students were pretty amazing.
A lot of things of our song are about like being happy and sad and showing all of the emotions.
It was fun and exciting, and I'm really glad that we got to do that with her. It makes me feel proud because I made it. It was fun because we got to express our emotions to each other.
It was really fun working, singing this with my class.
I was happy because she encouraged me to make even more books.
I think I'm gonna keep writing lyrics when I grow up because I always wanted to be an actress.
It was amazing working with Mary Amato and working with everyone here, and we made a really good song out of it.
They had never done anything like this before, so for them to experience meeting a person even via Zoom and work with them was a whole new experience. And so they were very excited, which made them very nervous at first. But after the first meeting, when they're like, oh, this is a real person and they can hear me and I can talk to them and I can work on some things with them, they were really into it and started to look forward to it as time progressed. And by the time we had the end of it and she was having them sing along with her ukulele and kind of playing through what they had written, they're like, wow, this is really cool.
The kids responded to this project in a really positive way, but we didn't want to stop there with just writing the song. Classical music is what we do as an orchestra, and orchestra music is something that many younger audiences aren't familiar with in general, or they don't listen to it, but it's a field that is very rich in expression and emotion. So as part of this project, we wanted to expose students to the orchestra and the orchestra instruments so they could hear for themselves how an orchestra can really enhance music they know and breathe life into it.
The Lima Symphony approached composer and arranger Jonathan Way to arrange the student songs for orchestra. Led by music director Andrew Crust, a group of 10 Lima Symphony Orchestra musicians were able to come together to record these songs.
And the students absolutely loved the arrangement that the symphony created with it. They loved how in the song they could hear the effects of the fire burning and they could hear the birds fluttering at the end with the wings, and they were just so excited to hear, and it was so fun to see the looks on their faces when they heard that arrangement.
They take pride in the fact when they heard the orchestra arrangement, when they first listened to it, and we listened to some of the other ones too, and they were like blown away. They're like, that's our song? So they thought it was really a fascinating process. Yeah, we love having a relationship. We love having a symphony in our town, and I always push that to the students that, you know, we're one of the smallest towns in the United States with a symphony, and so it's incredible that we have that resource here, and we need to use them when we get the opportunity to do that.
For them to have that experience is very memorable, and I love having those experiences. And you guys through the symphony provide that usually through the young people's concert. And since we didn't get to do that, this experience has been like, wow, that was that awesome thing we did this year. And you know, so for them to have the experience of live performance and what it takes to make the performance is fantastic. And I'm so excited. Thank you for coming out.
I think that for a lot of the kids, putting it together with a Mary Amato was a great thing. I think that helped them refocus themselves into moving forward. I think that Lima Symphony did an awesome job of saying, hey guys, here's the resources for this. Hey, put this together, let's work together. I really enjoyed working with the symphony, and I think the kids have more of an accessible path to Lima Symphony now in the future, and they could say, hey, we've got this, and it's something new for them, something to push them forward, something to look forward to as they get older.